Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of An Experiment Called Life with Alex McKenzie. On this week's episode, we are going to be talking about 5 things that keep me going when I feel like quitting. So right now we're in Revelstoke, BC, Finley and I, and it's in the middle of a heat wave. It is like 35 degrees Celsius out, so we're going to keep this short because we got the AC off so you can hear me good on the mic. So yeah, doing stand-up comedy, it's definitely like self-producing tours. It is very difficult at times. When people ask me what it's like, I would say, have you ever seen the show Uncut Gems? That movie with Adam Sandler, where he's just constantly like stringing from one problem to another, just like using this guy's money to get to that guy, to help that guy, doing that. That's basically what it's like to self-produce a tour. Just constant anxiety, because you're just like trying to get through one show, and as soon as you get paid from that show, you're using it to produce another show, and just trying to get a little further down the road and keep going, and all kinds of hurdles and roadblocks in the way. A lot of successes too. There's lots of fun along the way, but yeah, it can be very difficult at times. And even just over like the 5 years of doing comedy, like quitting a very stable job to do something like this, it's there's been a lot of roadblocks and hurdles along the way. So here are 5 things. I don't know if it's going to help you guys, but here are 5 things that I do when I feel like quitting that help me to keep going. Number 1. Oh, I'm scratching my leg. Look at that. Oh, it's so itchy. Okay, we're going to redo that part because I want to make it look way proer. Okay, here we go. So here's 5 things that I do when I feel like quitting to help me keep going. So number 1 is, it's a very good quote from Alex Hormozi. It's, this is what hard feels like. So Alex Hormozi has this great quote where he basically says, when you set out to do this, did you think it was going to be easy or not? And then you think about it, you're like, okay, well, I'm trying to become a comedian, entrepreneur, millionaire. Like, did you think that that was going to be easy? It's like, well, no, I knew it was going to be hard. He's like, well, this is what hard feels like. So you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like, obviously, it's not going to be easy. And then he has, like, a good way of talking about, like, how hard is good. Because it's like, the harder something is to do, the less people that are going to do it, and then you have an advantage because you're willing to go out there and do it. So it's a very good way of looking at it. I really like that one. Number 2 is look at the person that you are becoming as the outcome. So rather than, trying to get like certain comedy credits or achievements in the career or financial number or certain goals, just look at who you're becoming along the way as the reward for doing it. Like, I look at it now, man, and I am stronger, smarter, faster. Everything about me is better. I'm way more equipped for stress. I'm way better at as a comedian at performing. I'm a lot better with my money financially. I'm better at maintaining my relationships. Just every part about who I am as a person has become better as I've done this journey and gone further along. So at times where it can feel like you're not making very much progress and you're not getting there, it's like, just remember that the person you're becoming is ultimately the outcome. Now, number three, and this is a huge one. I love it. And this always brings me so much calm, but it's that, like, nothing really matters. Like, that one all the time is like, it just feels like a breath of fresh air. Because here's the thing, like, if I make all of my dreams come true, say that I become a legend in the comedy scene and I'm a husband and a father and I've got a family, a loving family full of kids who go on to do very successful things and everything works out as good as I ever could have dreamed, or say that none of it does and I live my whole life in a van just scraping by and I never find love and I die cold and alone, it doesn't really matter. Like, you really think about it, like, nothing is that important of it. It's like just learning to try and enjoy the passage of time and enjoy the human experience. Like, the more I look at it, it seems to be like a very spiritual thing for me, where it's like, you're just a human experiencing human emotions, and if you get to have a loving family and all the career success you ever dream of, it's like, that's great, and you'll get to experience what that is like. And if not, and you struggle your whole way through life and you never find the thing you're looking for, well, then you get to experience that side of reality and life, of the struggle. And it's like at the end of the day, whether you make it or not, like it just doesn't matter, you know? So just take a breath of fresh air, relax. And I also find that when I realize nothing matters, I perform better. It's just like, meh, just have some fun, get after it, you know? Number 4. Number 4, this is a good one. Number 4 is you have so much time. Like, you know, it feels like you're in a rush all the time. You're like, oh, you have to achieve this. You have to complete this, get this done. You have so much. Like, so I always picture this. I go, I'm 36 now. And say that I just wanted to do comedy until average retirement age, or like the end of our working age, like 65, say. So that's another 30 years right now. And I look back and I go, okay, where was I 30 years ago? I'm like, I was 6 years old. And you're like, imagine, like, look at how much time that was. I picture, imagine if I, at 6 years old, started working as hard as I am now, was as dedicated and focused on becoming better at my craft. Where would I be? I'm like, you would be selling out stadiums all over the world. Like, you would be at such a high level and be so good at this thing. And I'm like, you have that much time again. And that's just till you're 66. Like, I'm not going to stop doing this. Like, I'm going to keep doing comedy as long as I live. Like, you'll do it till I'm 80 or 90 or who knows, maybe I die at 45. I don't know, you know, but I'm going to do it for that long. And you just look at like where you came in 5 years and it's like, think how far you could end up if you keep doing this for another 30. It's, that's very exciting for me. And then, number 5 is there's nothing else I would rather do. So like even on the very hard days, on the days where it's like this isn't working, I don't think I can financially keep going with just losses on shows, or just mentally keep going when it's like you feel rejected and yeah, no matter what, you're like, well, what would you rather do? Like there's nothing I would rather do than get up and kick the ball a little further down the road and do comedy. Like comedy, it just, it hits every point of my life that I'm trying to get better at, you know? It's self-discovery. Like you get to wake up every day and be like, who is Alex McKenzie? And what's it like to be Alex McKenzie? And I'm learning about who I am doing it, which is very fun. And then it also helps me learn, like I get this business, entrepreneurial side out, which is very fun. Getting to try and like create and grow a business and, you know, hopefully one day you're very successful and maybe you can employ all your family members and give them all jobs. You can have a little family business doing this, or you could, I don't know, just spend more time with the people you love. And yeah, it is pretty cool, man. So there's nothing I would rather do. Now, a little bonus one for you. And this is a little Macklemore coming out. My man, Macklemore. My biggest inspiration probably. Him and Eminem really get me going. Also Eric Thomas, shout out to that dude, you know. I just love him. In your life right now, you all over the place. Oh God, he kills me, that guy. So it, yeah, trying to think. So Macklemore, in the song Make the Money, he like answers at the very beginning of it every question I had about becoming an artist and what like my fears and doubts were. And he says, this is my job. I will not quit it. It pulled me out the depths when I thought that I was finished. And you're like, yeah, like I remember, man, when I was working at the mill, just struggling, it was like I didn't know if I was going to make it. You're like, I don't know if I want to do this the rest of my life. And if this is the only option, I don't think I'm going to make it to see my 40th birthday. Like it just, very dark, sad times. And then you think of this thing, you're like, this literally saved you, dude. Like this gave you purpose and meaning and found a way to want to keep going and get out of bed with excitement. So he says, yeah, this is my job. I will not quit it. Pull me out of depth. So I thought that I was finished. Second one. And then he's like, yeah, I questioned if I could go the distance, but that it's about the work regardless of who's listening. And so it's like, yeah, you wonder if you're going to make it or not. Like that is a big fear, whether or not you're going to be able to do it. But it's not about that. It's about like the work within yourself, because it goes, fight something amongst me and leave here victorious. So it's like it's a battle, an inner battle with yourself and self-discovery, like I mentioned before. So it's not really about like the external outcome. It's more an internal thing. And then number 3, he says, whether it's a classroom of kids or a venue performer, if I'd done it for the money, I would have been a lawyer. And that's the thing. You're like, oh yeah, I'm not doing this for money. If I was doing it for money, I'd just go back to my old job. So that's a fun little one right off the top. So if you're like an artist or anything like that and you're trying to figure it out, like I really suggest Macklemore, man. Like Make the Money, 10,000 Hours, Vipassana. Those are all some very good ones that I feel really capture, like The Artistic Pursuit. Victory Lap, that's another really good one. But yeah, it's very exciting and good. So anyway, I don't know. Those are things that I think about when I'm struggling. So hopefully that you guys, if anyone out there is trying to do something cool, well, I mean, I think it's all cool. It doesn't really matter what you're trying to do. It's pretty cool. I think it would be cool to live whatever kind of life you want to live. I always say, as long as your joy doesn't come from someone else's suffering. So just, if you're having a hard time with anything, think of these 5 things and think how hard a time I'm having, okay? And then just remember that I'm working very hard, and so you can't complain about anything. Oh, I love it. Just goes on this big spiritual thing and then just goes off about how it's all about me, okay? That's the whole reason we're doing this. So fun. Anyway, there's another episode of An Experiment Called Life. I love you guys, and I hope everyone's having a good time. I'm currently on tour. The Happy Camper Comedy Tour is out. Make sure you go to alexhilljokes.com. Check it out. We're going all over Canada. We just launched an East Coast tour. The Hunger for Laughs Comedy Tour is on sale as well. We are doing shows every weekend, all the time, till the day that we die, baby. Ho, ho. If you haven't come see me live yet, you gotta do it. I promise I'm better than I ever been, all right? So I love you. Take care. And don't forget to spay and neuter your pets, you guys, okay? Mwah. Finley.